Hey, Kerry here. This is my class 3 on my investment philosophy and how to gain exponential growth in the stock market by investing into the future. In the first two classes, I basically talked about educating yourself on the past and how we got here. That was class 1. Class 2 was look into the future and gain a window into the future, and then keep that as your top of mind. And I truly recommend that you then become a specialist, that you focus on an area that you have some interest in, some passion around, so that you can truly become the smartest guy in the room. Then I wanted to go into where I went and where I'm going and how I think it's given me a leg up. I just did a video which you may have seen. I'm going to publish it before this one, where I started this channel back in November, I believe it was, of 2019, and I monetized it in 2020, in January of 2020, and it grew to 148 plus thousand subscribers and then stalled out. And I think in that video I explained my logic as to why it happened. But I think part of it has to do with that most people aren't comfortable with waiting for their rewards for their efforts. They want instant gratification, and that's not how I invest. I can't compete. I'm not a day trader. I'm not a swing trader. And I can't compete with Wall Street. So what I want to do today is take you through the methodology that I go through when I decide what I'm going to invest in, and then how I focus on it. So I got to tell you, I'm not your financial advisor, and I'm not really, for most people, a good source for investing information, because again, I think most investors want and need instant gratification, and I don't. I'm lucky in that regard. I have enough money to pay all my bills, to remove all my debt, and I'm basically investing. I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy the hunt more than I do the kill. I enjoy putting the effort forward to reap major benefits. So let me again give this disclaimer, and then we'll dig into it.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, to give you some background, I believe that you should invest around your passion. That makes the research that you do rewarding. On a mental basis, on an emotional basis, as well as a financial basis. I have a passion around cancer. My mother died of cancer when I was 8 years old. My father died of cancer. He was up in his 80s. And then my daughter died of cancer when she was in her 40s. And so I have a real passion around that I want to be a part of finding a cure for cancer. And in that regard, I donate to the St. Vincent's Children's Hospital in their cancer research. And in fact, if you become a member of this channel, that's by clicking the little join box, they'll bill you $4.99 a month, and that will go towards my efforts or my donations to find a cure for cancer. So in that endeavor, and also being 76 years of age, life expectancy is important to me. So I found this book. It's called Lifespan. It's by David Sinclair. He's a PhD, and he runs a lab of lifespan at Harvard University. And I read this book, and it's not an easy book to read because it is from a scientist. And basically, the premise of the book is that if we can cure those diseases that kill us, we can live forever. at least until the parts start to wear out, and they're working on that as well. And so that introduced me to the whole medical world wrapped around a drug, not a drug. It's actually a part of the workings of our body that they put a title called CRISPR on it. And what it is it wraps around, as I understand it, our T cells that go to make, our T cells are the mechanics, the mechanics like an auto mechanic in our body to make corrections of problems that we create, such as I fell and cut my hand open, and my T cells came, and in the matter of a week and a half, they scabbed it over and closed up that cut in my hand. That's how our body works. And unless we screw it up by messing up with our genome through our environment and our breeding, everything goes fine. But that isn't the case. Somewhere in my past, cancer became a part of my bloodline, and so the CRISPR in my body, natural CRISPR, can't put my genome back in place. But they are now creating therapies that can do that. So our medical world is going from one of treating illnesses to one of curing illnesses. And that's going to be driven by CRISPR. So that's my passion. And so that's what I read about. And I've read a number of books, and the latest one is a mind killer, and that is The Code Breaker by Walter Isaacson. And I've read a number of Walter's books, and in the book, Walter Isaacson makes the statement, and he's made this statement on TV interviews as well, that what CRISPR brings to the medical revolution is comparable to the digital revolution, that our medical world is going to change dramatically. So as an investor with a passion around cancer, which includes delivery of medical care, that's what I focus on. So my portfolio is built around my knowledge of artificial intelligence, and that's why I own what I call my big six: Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft, and Tesla. And then the other half of my portfolio goes towards my passions. Right now, I would say 15% of my portfolio is wrapped up in biotech. And again, why I'm sharing this with you is that's what I think you should do. Not invest in biotech, but invest in your passion, and then become the smartest guy in the room on it. The other thing that I recognize, having been in the financial industry, is the financial industry, from Wall Street's point of view, is a 90-day game. They get paid based on their performance for 90 days each quarter. They don't look much beyond that. They may look 60 or 180 days, but that's about it. So they don't have the patience, and they aren't going to get the rewards by investing in CRISPR. So you don't see surges because they know that our medical delivery system is going to change dramatically. They just can't make any money that way. And I'm talking about individuals and companies. They can't explain to their billion-dollar clients, you're going to have to wait on this one. You're going to have to wait 5-10 years. But I'm not going to live 5 or 10 years. Well, then you go somewhere else. No, I want my reward immediately. Well, that's the mentality of the baby boomer generation. I mean, we all competed to win, and we have to win today. That's not how I invest. The other thing I invest in is, again, I recognize that the coronavirus caused this surge in interest in the medical field. It also pointed out that we have a broken supply system. Looking at that, I said, wow, that means that manufacturing has to come back to the United States. But wait, labor is more expensive here and the consumers will not buy. But wait, there's 3D printing and robotics. That will negate the need for human work. Therefore, the 3D printing and robotics are a passion of mine. Now, I've most recently learned about the metaverse, and that is that, as I have read about it, that the internet that we know today is going away, that we will actually interact directly through avatars, and we will communicate on a one-to-one basis. So in essence, we're going to go from Zoom to where we will have a meeting room and we will be able to interact with each other and learn from each other more directly. We will be able to entertain ourselves directly through participation. I won't watch a basketball game. I'll participate in the basketball game. My avatar will participate in a professional or college basketball or football game. And that's in the future. So if that really lights you up, and again, how do you make that transition? Go talk to your grandchildren and let them show you how they interact in their games, their Fortnite, and the games that they play. And that'll show you that, hey, if they can just take that make-believe world and turn it into a real world, we're there. So that's where that's going. And if that excites you, that's what you should go to Amazon and find a book on the metaverse and learn everything you can about it. Because then you now have knowledge that 98% of the rest of the world doesn't have. And you can foresee what's going to happen into the future and thus then identify the companies that are going to take us there. It's like haptic technology. And I did a video on that. That's when your phone vibrates rather when you've got the ring turned off. Well, that's going to become a part of every part of the internet. You're going to wear a T-shirt that will vibrate so that when you're participating in some sporting activity and you take a hit on the chest, you'll feel it. Or when you hit somebody in the nose, you'll feel it in your fist. That's where this is going. So if that excites you and says, that's what I want to learn more about, then go to Amazon and find the latest books on it, and every month read something more about it. That makes you a 2%er. And that's how you should invest. You should invest in your passion. You should invest in what interests you so that you're the smartest guy in the room. Now, you might say, well, I believe cryptocurrency is. That's a pretty full ballpark, okay? I don't know if you can get ahead of the game in that. You might, because you might discover something else, but just, I would say, learn more about blockchain. That's a word that's thrown around a lot that I don't think a lot of people really understand. So my guidance to you is become the smartest guy in the room. And again, I want to explain what I mean by that. When you go to Las Vegas or any casino, they have the slot machines, and that's all mechanical. And then they have the roulette. I don't know if that's so much, that's pretty mechanical, I believe. Then they have the blackjack table. Now, if you can count cards and keep up with it, you're the smartest guy at that blackjack table. They may throw you out because they'll figure out what you're doing. But then there's this other room in the back of the casino that is a poker table. And they have a dealer, and you're really not playing against that dealer. You're playing against the other people on the table. That's, if you're going to gamble, that's where you want to go, because you can gain an advantage there by being the smartest guy at the table. Now, it takes a lot of work, and the odds of you getting there are dependent upon the amount of work you want. Well, that's exactly how you should approach investing. I don't want to play the slot machines. I don't want to play the roulette table. And I don't really want to play blackjack because, again, I'm playing against the dealer. And look around you. Look around you. It's a beautiful casino. The dealer has to win to support the casino. Go to that poker table if you're the smartest guy at the table. That's how you should approach investing. Make up your mind, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I will spend time doing. And this is where I'm going to become the smartest guy in the room. Then turn it into a team sport. What do I mean by that? Well, investing, Wall Street plays as a team. They have analysts. Kathy Woods, good example. She has analysts coming out of her wazoo. And they meet on a regular basis, and they talk, and they share their knowledge, and they exchange their knowledge, and then they make decisions. And each one of those analysts has a passion and is the smartest guy in the room. But he gains knowledge from the collective. Well, that's what we do at Best of Us Investors. That's what I have strived to do, is build a collection of people. We're up somewhere around 2,000 to 2,500 right now who actively participate. That is, they pay $10 a month to see my portfolio and then meet with group of people of like mind with whatever subject they want or whatever stock commodity they want to talk about and gain knowledge. We then have an investment committee that we share that knowledge with, and we ask them to do in-depth research. That's where I get most of my ideas. That's where I learned about the metaverse. That's where I learned about haptic technology. That's actually where I learned about Caribou, which is another one of the biotech stocks. So if that's what you'd like to be a part of, I want to invite you to become a part of it and gain the advantage of collective and collaborative working. Again, make the transition, as that's how Kathy Woods does it. I don't think Kathy's going to invite you to come to their investment meetings, but you can have a simulation of that at some respect at Best of Us Investors. Go to that website. Give me your address and your email address and your name, and I'll send you an invitation. So that's how I invest. That's how I encourage you to invest. Don't invest in what I invest in unless you've got a passion for it and you're willing to wait for the gratification. Because, again, it isn't going to come fast. That's the short game. That's what Wall Street's playing. And you can't beat them. Trust me, you can't beat them. Okay, so I've given you Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. I hope this enlightens you, causes you to think, causes you to become more of an expert. And trust me, it can become a full-time job. And the beauty of it is, if it is a full-time job, it's working in something that you're passionate about. And that it just doesn't get any better than that. All right. I hope you gained something from that. I certainly did, just by verbalizing it. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.